One of these phones is the comeback of the year. The other is a $1,200 disappointment. And you realize why the second you pick them up. Because while Google has been obsessing over AI tricks you might never use, OnePlus focused on one thing you actually touch 100 times a day. Now, I say focused because you won't see the difference on a spec sheet. In fact, on paper, these two are practically twins. If you hold them side by side, you're looking at two massive 6.8-inch slabs, and they feel nearly identical, but don't let the size fool you. The OnePlus is somehow lighter and thinner, even though they managed to cram a massive car battery inside. Up front, both are covered in Gorilla Glass Victus 2. But OnePlus gets the point here simply because they pre-installed a screen protector for you. It's a small win, but it saves you $20. Now, the real story though is the IP69K rating on the OnePlus 15. While the Pixel has the standard water resistant, the OnePlus is rated to survive high pressure water jets and even a trip through a dishwasher. And yes, we are definitely going to test that out. All right guys, so we're going to put the OnePlus 15 in my dishwasher right here. I am not sure how he's going to fare up, but so we'll find out how it went at the end of this video. OnePlus made a critical mistake with the ergonomics this year. Look at these buttons. They are placed so high up that my thumb is constantly doing mental gymnastics just to reach the volume. They also killed the iconic circular camera bump for this generic square housing. It feels conformist. Now they stripped away the personality just to look like Oppo. Now Google, on the other hand, got lazy. Now the Pixel 10 Pro XL is a literal copy and paste of the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Same design, same glossy rails that attract fingerprints like crazy, but they finally stole the iPhone's best feature. It is called Pixel Snap, and they baked magnets directly into the phone. No third-party cases are needed because your wallets, your mount, and your chargers just snap on. It does make the phone 11 grams heavier though, but that extra weight gets you faster 25-watt wireless charging and native magnetic compatibility. OnePlus broke their ergonomics while Google perfected utility, and I'll take that extra weight for the magnets any single day. So the Pixel draws first blood, but when you flip these over to the front, the story changes completely. Now this is where the philosophy of these two companies completely split. OnePlus built this screen for gamers, and they pushed the refresh rate to a ridiculous 165 Hz, and it supported games like Call of Duty, it's buttery smooth, but there is a penalty. To get that speed, they cut the resolution down to 1.5K. Now, enter the Pixel. Google kept the refresh rates at 120 Hz, but gave you a full QHD Plus resolution. And you put them side by side, and the text is noticeably sharper on the Pixel, but the biggest difference is brute force brightness. The Pixel hits a blinding 3300 nits compared to OnePlus's 1800, and if you're using Google Maps or any kind of maps in direct sunlight, then the Pixel will definitely win. It's not even close. However, OnePlus will win the night. They included high-frequency PWM dimming that is 5 times better than the Pixel at preventing eye strain. It can even drop to 0.5 nits, so if you scroll in pitch darkness, the OnePlus won't burn your retinas. And because of that, I have to give it to the OnePlus 15. But a fast screen is useless if the phone can't drive the frames, and this is where the slaughter begins. When it comes to raw power, the OnePlus 15 isn't just competing with the Pixel, it is embarrassing. OnePlus went full beast mode this year. They are first to ship the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and we are talking about a 4.6 GHz clock speed backed by a dedicated touch response chip. And in my testing, whether it's editing 4K videos or marathon gaming sessions, it didn't just survive. It bored the processor. It never throttled once, and remember that plus key that I've complained about in the past? Well, it turns out it's actually genius. It's an AI trigger from Mindspace, and one press captures whatever is on your screen, links, text, screenshots, and dumps it in a researchable vault. It automatically summarizes and organizes your chaos. And I wanted to hate it, to be fair, but it's actually very useful. Now let's take a look at the Pixel, and the good news is Google finally ditched the manufacturing process. The new Tensor G5 is made by TSMC, and they also killed the 128 gig model, so thank you Google for making sure that the base model starts at 256 gig. In my daily use, it flies. Apps open instantly, but the Pro name falls apart when you push it to its limit. In long gaming sessions, the Tensor G5 still can't cheat physics. It gets warm, it throttles, and it's simply no match for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. However, while OnePlus wins the benchmark wars, Google is winning the IQ test. Android 16 on this phone is the cleanest software experience you can buy. Zero bloatware, and the Gemini integration is light years ahead of anything on the OnePlus. Features like Add Me for photos or call notes from transcriptions of my conversations is really good. They solve real problems, whereas the OnePlus just gives you raw speed. I have to split the points here because these are for two different people. For pure horsepower, OnePlus destroys the Pixel. For the smartest software on the planet on a smartphone, Pixel is still the king. But raw power is only half the flagship equation. Here is the harsh reality. To pay for the massive engine, OnePlus had to cut costs somewhere, and unfortunately, they took a machete to the cameras. This is where the merger strategy with Oppo really hurts the consumers. On paper, the OnePlus 15 sounds incredible. A triple 50 megapixel setup, and do not fall for those numbers, they actually downgraded the sensors this year. Now, I saw your comments on my last video saying I was too harsh on the OnePlus 15's camera, so I went outside again and tested these side by side in every lighting condition imaginable. Now, the results are kind of brutal. In low lights, the OnePlus falls apart. The sensors are physically too small to gather enough light, so pictures look dull and invisible. And while 8K sounds cool, the sensors can't back it up. It's like putting racing stripes on a Honda Civic. It looks fast, but it's not gonna go anywhere. The only redeeming quality, the selfie camera. And shockingly, it actually beats the Pixel on skin tones and depth. But a good selfie camera doesn't save a bad system. Now let's look at the Pixel. Google did something incredibly lazy here. Hardware-wise, this is the same exact phone as last year. Same sensors, same lenses, zero upgrades, but because Google's computational photography is so good, it wipes the floor with OnePlus. OnePlus downgraded their hardware while Google coasted on their software, but a lazy winner is still a winner. So the Pixel takes the camera around, but having a great camera doesn't matter if your phone is dead before dinner. And when we talk about longevity, this isn't a competition anymore. It's a massacre. OnePlus didn't just upgrade the battery this year, they changed the entire chemistry. They managed to stuff a monster 7,300 million pounds of silicon carbon battery into this phone, and that is not a typo. In 2025, that is overkill in the best way possible. I threw everything at this phone. Gaming, 5G streaming, doom scrolling, and I physically couldn't kill it in a single day. And when you do finally drain it, they are the only company left in the world that respects your wallet. You get a 120 watts charger right in the box, and it takes you from 0 to 100% in 45 minutes. Then there's the Pixel. Google gave us a 5,200 million pounds of battery, and that is the biggest ever in a Pixel. But the math isn't mathing. Google is gambling that the new Tensor chip will magically save power, but they are still stuck using old lithium-ion technology, and that gamble failed. Now, the drain on the Pixel is very severe. I found myself looking for a charger by the early evening, so around 4 or 5 every single day. Google gave us a cure, but OnePlus gave us prevention, and I will take prevention every single time. All right, so let's see how it did. Woo! Oh, let's see. It still works. It still works. So on paper, we are deadlocked. It's a perfect tie, but none of those specs matter if your phone should bankrupt you. And this is where OnePlus plays its final lethal card. Because while the competition is pushing past the $1,000 mark, OnePlus is doing something that we haven't seen in years. Now, the OnePlus 15 isn't just cheaper at $1899, it's effectively resetting the market. But here is where the Pixel completely falls apart. At $1199, Google is asking for $100 more than last year. And what do you actually get for that extra cash? A slightly faster chip and magnets. That's it. Meanwhile, you are losing the physical SIM card tray if you're in the US, which is a disaster for traveling, and you're accepting a worse battery and slower performance. Compare that to the OnePlus 15 and it is $300 cheaper. Let me repeat that, $300. You are getting flagship specs for the price of a mid-range phone. Unless you are a professional photographer who needs that pixel camera processing, the OnePlus 15 isn't just a better deal, it's the better deal.